Welcome back to our conversation with Greg Maynard of the Boston Policy Institute. So, Josh Kraft, the mayoral challenger who's come forward, was sitting in that chair last week, Greg, and the recent back and forth between Mayor Wu, the incumbent, and Kraft over how to ease the housing crisis has certainly been interesting. Two different ideas of how to proceed, but aren't they both whistling past the graveyard? I mean, with real estate values the way they are and the cost of living as high as it is, isn't Boston inevitably headed for a situation where only the rich and the subsidized poor can live here while the middle class has to flee?
Yeah, I mean, that is a problem that I don't think just Boston is facing. It's a problem that the state of Massachusetts is facing. But I do think that the debate we've seen over the last 2 weeks in Boston, shows how far the housing debate in the city has come. It's really focused on supply. And so Boston is finally starting to move into a debate around how to build more housing, which is something the rest of the state has been engaged in for a long time. But Boston's politics, for whatever reason, has been really resistant to talking about the core of the issue.
Well, when Charlie Baker filed the bill that ultimately passed reforming the housing laws, that allowing for accessory dwelling units, what they're called in-law apartments and so forth, and also establishing the MBTA Communities Act, which in itself is controversial, that represented a certain vision of how to increase supply. Has that become outdated already, or is it still valid?
No, I don't think it's become outdated, but I think the MBTA Communities Act brings up a really important issue that I think is going to be addressed in this mayor's race, which is that because of the MBTA Communities Act, there are communities around Boston that now have denser by right development just on the other side of the line from Boston. So Boston now, it's tougher to build in Boston now than it is in the communities that surround it and some of the suburban communities. And you saw that in the last housing report card from the Boston Foundation, which showed, Boston was tied for fourth in terms of producing the most percentage of new housing versus 2010.
Fourth in the country?
Fourth in, out of its, the 15 Boston and its first-string suburbs.
Okay.
So towns like Everett and Revere have built way more housing as a percentage of their, total stock than Boston has.
And we just saw Cambridge allow for higher-rise development.
Yeah, exactly. And, and the state has legalized ADUs. The city has not done that. They haven't followed Cambridge's lead either with the parking minimum abolition or with this massive upzoning. And so Boston's really falling behind the rest of the state in terms of making it easier to build. The city's made it more expensive to build with stuff like increasing inclusionary zoning and increasing environmental requirements, but they haven't done anything to loosen restrictions like we're seeing in communities here in Massachusetts and all across the country.
There's so many issues I want to get into, so little time, but I want to squeeze this last one in. It was reported on the morning of this taping that the city is going to remove at least one, I think maybe two bus lanes down in the Boylston Street area of the Back Bay that have been a source of tremendous controversy, blamed for helping to cause congestion and all sorts of problems. And also there's a promise from City Hall to start reevaluating some of the new bike lanes that have come in. This is just, it's purely coincidental that this coincides with the entry of a challenger into the race who's making the proliferation of bike lanes a big issue, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is why elections are important. They really help people think about the issues and think about what it is they want to do and make folks prioritize, what it is you're willing to do and not do with government power.
Yeah, and I would point out that's a good thing when government officials say, yes, I've heard the complaints, we're going to reevaluate a policy that we had previously stood by. That's what we want to see, right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, this first 2 weeks of the mayor's race has just been incredibly policy heavy, and I think it really bodes well for the rest of the race that we're going to get, a real choice between different visions for the city.
And the winner will be? I'm just kidding. No one knows. Greg, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Look forward to having you back as the race progresses, and we'll, of course, be following that closely throughout this year as Boston makes a decision come this fall. That's it for me. Now it's back over to my colleagues for more WBZ News.